Welcome back to Lockdown Workshop. So on today's, what would you call it? Show? Channel? Video? Today's video. We have, this isn't Diane's, this is another one. I think Diane's is the next model down from this. This is a Pro Zero. So this is the top of the range of the Liv Avails. And very nice it is too. I think the Pro 1 or the Advanced Zero has 105. So we'll have a quick look around the bike and then we'll talk about why it's up on the lift. Right, not the best viewing angle, but it's enough for what we've got here. So what we've got is a Liv Avail Advanced Pro Zero. So like I said, it's the top of the range. I've thrown everything at it. It's Di2, as you'll have noticed. It's the newer of the Di2. It's got the Power Pro Giants version of the dual-sided power meter. I've got one of these on my Pro Pal. I think it's a slightly older version than this. What else have we got? It's 12 speed. It's got the SL10, the SLR 10s, I think they're SLR. Yep, SLR1 with zeros. SLR1 wheels, carbon, tubeless, and I believe they are a C32 rim, if I'm right. Can't find it. There we go. Yep, giant Frondo Zero. So they're decent tyres. Them. I tend to have the Frondo ones running on mine, or the Corsa ones. So winter bikes running on the Frondas. 32s, and I'm running 28s on the summer Corsas, which are a little bit more sporty. Just in case you don't know, the Liv Avail is kind of similar to the Defy, which I've also got one of those as well. I didn't go for the Zero, the Pro Zero. I went for the Pro 1 simply because it had the SRAM group set. Not the Di2 group set, and the price wasn't the problem. I think it was about £500 more, but I specifically wanted the gearing because my Pro Pal is my winter bike and my hill climbing bike, so I wanted the wider range that you get with the SRAM, because it's a 1036 on the cassette and then a 33 49 or something on the ring. So even though it's smaller at the front, it's still wider because of the 10 at the back. So really good for hills and slightly better on the flat than running a compact chain set on the front, which is a 50-34 and then a 34-11. Which is kind of the standard Shimano setup. Anyway, we're waffling slightly. What else have we got of interest? It's a fully carbon frame. It is very, very similar to the Defy as well. Even down to the seat post is almost identical. You can see she's got the click front and rear cameras on here. She is a more nervous rider. I don't think she'll mind me saying that. And that gives her peace of mind. What have we got on the back? We've got what looks like a 36... Or is it a 34? Can't find the writing. 34, yeah, 34-11 on the back, and it's the GS cage setup. I do know it's charged up, which is better than the last one that come in, which wasn't charged up. Thanks, Di. I've done a quick M check. While it's on the ground, because it's easier to do it on the ground, but I couldn't be bothered to do it on the ground and show you about it. So I've checked the headset bearings, I've checked all the bearings, everything's fine. The reported problem with this is in the shifting. At the recent cycling do from the club that we all cycle at, we have a Christmas do, and it's kind of separate to all the others because there's a fair bit of banter, and it's just the cycling mob. Tracy was voted to most likely to have a mechanical. She drops her chain quite a lot. Now, it'd be very easy for me to turn around and say, yeah, it's just Tracy, she's dropping a chain. But actually, it's quite difficult to drop a chain on these. right? So the only way you're going to drop a chain on Di2 is if you are crossing while you are going big ring at the back, big ring at the front. Now, I do know that she has a tendency to ride the big ring on the front, because somebody who's not really a decent cyclist has told her you need to be riding on a big ring all the time, which we all know is a load of bollocks, especially in the winter. You should be on the little ring. I go out and ride with that group, and I never get out of the little ring, so there's no reason why anybody else should be getting out of the little ring, right? I go and help Darren with that group. Top speed they're likely to ever do is about 16-17 miles an hour. The little ring is more than enough for that. So, but they do have a tendency to be in the big ring way too more than they need to be, and then it tends to force them into the top gears up there, which means you are crossing. If you're on the big ring, you want to keep out of them first 3 gears, because you are putting a lot of distance on the chain. Big rings there, and you're making the chain span across. Not only that, because it's under a lot of tension as well, because you're big ring to big ring, if you pedal backwards, it's more than likely going to jump off there. If you hit a bump, it's more than likely going to jump off there. So now it might not be that, so we're going to go and have a good look at this first for her, and just check everything out. So what have I noticed so far? Oh, come on, focus for me. Right, so if you take a look here, I don't know if you can see that. Now normally we set that up so that when it's in the bottom and it's not in the trim, which is actually quite difficult to do on a Di2, that should be crossing the centre line of that, and it should be exactly flush with that, and then what happens is it moves out on a Shimano. On an S-Ram it tends to do that, right? It tends to cantilever slightly, not just pantograph or whatever they call it when it does that. So it's a slightly uneven tilt on an S-Ram. On a Shimano it's straight out, and what they do on Shimano to get around the fact that you're going to start catching the thing is they've got 4 positions, they've got trim settings. Di2 is a little bit more intelligent because it knows where it's going to be at certain times, and it does its trimming automatically. But on a manual, you'll notice you have to feather your gear selector every now and again. Let me just mute the Ring doorbell, or it's going to be going off constantly. Right, so what I have noticed with this is it's not quite out far enough, and it is slightly tucked in. Now, there's a thing with these that they come with a free water bottle, and this water bottle is really tight on that thing. So I am wondering whether all this lot's been slackened off and this hasn't ended up where it should be, or it just wasn't set up right. One of the first things I'm going to do though is I'm going to check the firmware and make sure the firmware's right, because I have heard rumours from people. I've not substantiated any of this, but I've heard rumours that sometimes if the firmware's not right, it can that doesn't always do its trim properly. So that's what we're going to do. Right, so I'm just pairing up the thing. Use the Shimano YouTube or something app. I can't remember what it's called, to be honest. eTube app. I've put it into pairing mode, so you have to hold that button down there. I guessed at it, to be honest. I haven't done many of these 12 speeds. Mine, I have to plug it in on my Shimano. On the S-Ram, the software just talks to it. But you know, I do have to put it into pairing mode. Right, it's found it. It's found the rear shifter. It's found the front derailleur. It's found the left shifter, and it's found the right shifter. And it's found the 2 satellite buttons because they are Ultegra, and it's found the battery. So we're just going to check for. We're not going to register it as a new bike. What I want to do though is skip registration because it's not my bike, and we just want to check that we've got the right. So we're just going to quickly go in, make sure it's set up properly. Crank is a 5236. It's not, it's a 5034, so that wasn't set up right. So you can see it was set to a 5236 and it wasn't. The cassette at the back was set for an 1134, so they've not done that either. That's disappointing, because I know who it was who set this up. We will leave the synchronized shifting, actually no we won't, we'll put some S1 and S2, normal, semi-synchronized shift, number up front and down, we'll use that, leave that as standard. So that's your, when you change gear on the front, it automatically adjusts the gears on the back. And what we'll do is we'll set S2 up as the oops, come on, give me another one, that's it. Well, right, we will set S2 up for fully synchronized shifting. Oops, I made a mess of that. Delete, get rid of that. Sorry, it caught my finger on it. So we want to send it for synchronized shift. So this is the one where you can just use the rear derailleur and it automatically adjusts the derailleur at the front when it needs to. So you'll start at the top, you'll go down, 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 and you'll get to about there, or when it says on here. And then when you go past that gear, what it does is it puts you up onto the big ring and knocks that back up to about there. You can set the ratios on that. Generally, for other people, I leave them as default. I do tweak mine slightly because I know when I'm shifting, I generally want it to be more of a smoother shift going up. When I'm coming down, I generally dump it onto the big ring, so I'm not so bothered if it goes in there. So that's fine. It's going to show you a little animation of what it's doing now. It's going down, 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 hits that gear there, then it changes ring to the big one, goes up 3 gears and carries on down there. And it shows you what ratios it's doing when it's going down and what ratios it's doing when it's going up. All very clever stuff. Right, so we've got your S1 and your S2 set now. And your S0 is your manual. So hopefully this will be set to manual. Right, I need to check the maintenance firmware. Where do you check for firmware? Because it's that a while since I've done it. Button batteries at the front are about 50%. I will warn her about that. That's quite low to say this bike hasn't had much action. Those shifters are quite... that's a massive adjustment on the rear shifter. That's a bit worrying. So the front shifter unit's got 0 adjustment on, the rear shifter unit's got plus 18. So that means the rear shifter wasn't set up properly at the start. So what we'll do is we'll 0 that, and we will adjust the physical mechanism for it to put it in the somewhere near, and then use the trim. So there's a trim setting in here. What's weird is, oh there you go, update, it's there. Right, so there is an update available for the rear shifter. That's got the latest. We'll refresh the front one. Check the firmware version of the left switch. Press and hold one of the buttons on the left switch. So we'll just quickly do that. Right, there is an update available. And the right shifter, we'll do the same. So I'm doing what it's telling me to do. There is an update available and the battery's got the latest. So we're going to update all. And we'll just do a quick update. Place it nearby and do not move. So it's already downloaded the firmware. It does that when you're booting it up. It's the first time I've done one on one of these, one of the newer ones. On mine, I can actually plug it into the USB cable and do it on the laptop, which I prefer to do. Or I do it over the phone as well. So this will be interesting to see how these are slightly different. It's a bit mucky today. See, look at the state of that. Nice colour. I do like my black Defy that got hit by the car is a very similar frame to that. It's often doing its thing. You can see it's downloading there, or it's uploading. So it's that one. I'm holding it close. Right. Instead of sitting here watching this, I'll bring you back when it's done. That's interesting. So apparently the wireless shifters, you can't do an update on them unless you physically wire them into the rear derailleur or to the battery, which I'm assuming's buried in there somewhere. So you have to run a wire from a junction box on there up to the shifter E2 port up there, which I haven't got the cable and I don't have one of those cables. So that's interesting. So you can either, it says here, you can either connect it into the battery, which is I think where you have to connect it on this one. This one's slightly different because the battery's there, but then there seems to be suggesting that that's probably the charge. The charger you can plug it in. Yeah, where you plug the charger in, you do that. I mean, potentially we could disconnect that wire and plug it in, but we'd have to disconnect that. So I suspect there's a drop lead comes with them. I'd have to talk to the owner, but we've done the derailleurs. We can't do the shifters. Not too concerned about that. So it's a bit annoying, but it is what it is. It's telling me now. General bug fixes, it says. 4.3.0. We've got 4.2.0 on the battery and we have got 4.3.1 on the shifters. So that's interesting. Just have a quick look at that one because that one's not picked up. That's interesting. Well, it probably won't do because it's synced, but I can't find the power button on this one if there is one. Yeah, warning, keep your fingers out of there. Yeah, that's interesting. I suspect I'm going to have to disconnect now to... that's it, we've disconnected anyway. So hopefully that should be all back now and I should be able to use the gears again. Yep. Well, that does jam a bit, yeah. Right. Good thing about it is now we've programmed it for the size of gear that's actually on there. It's not a... it's how much of a difference that makes to the geometry of that. I don't know, but hey ho, there you go. One thing we didn't do though was we didn't check the firmware on that one. So I doubt whether we're going to get it to connect now because I think it has to have that connected for it to talk to it. No, it's not going to find it. I think we've got enough there. So let's have a look at adjustments. I think if I bring you round here, I think it's probably the best place for you. Well, I could do with you being in line, but we'll go with that. Come on. There we go. So my view of this is this should be out here. Now I'm going to have to reconnect everything again in a minute to do the trim. Anyway, but and it should take me through a trim performance, but I'm just looking for the there is a screw somewhere in here. There it is. So inside there's an adjuster screw. Have we got it? Right. Now what we'll do is just see if I can cant it out a bit. Right. So I've adjusted it now so it's level, but it does want to come out a little bit, so we are going to have to reconnect this now. So let's just reconnect the software again. If I can find the button. Where's the button gone? Alright, we're connecting. Connect. Don't set the passkey because it's not my bike, and fortunately it's not got one on. You can reset the passkeys with the computer, but obviously you need the computer cable to do that. Just check the thing's not bent. I don't think it is. Connected. Just quickly adjust the left shifter, right shifter. Right, front derailleur. So if we click on the front derailleur, next, come on. No, I don't want to register as a... Cancel. Skip registration. Should take me to the thing. So what I'm after doing now is multi-shift is on. Fast, very fast. Yeah. Enables. Right, where's the trim? So somewhere in here there's a... You can tell I don't use the Shimano one very often now. Right. Oh, that's because I was clicking on the back one, not the front one. So we are... Language, use the manual, error codes, no. Bike, crank. 5034, 1134, that's fine, it's remembered that. So where do I do the maintenance? Gear usage rate, front shift it, right, so here we go. So it was in that bit where the thing, do not show that next time. So we are on the, what does it tell us to do? Move the derailleur to the position shown in the figure. So that means we need to go, this start. Let me just put that down. So it needs to be on the big ring there, and it needs to be on the little ring down there. It's done that. It's done it automatically. Right. Please turn the crank. Start. Right. Adjust the gap between the chain of the front derailleur to 0.5 to 1 millimetre. So that's the outside of the chain. Needs to be 1 millimetre away from there, and it's not, it's too far over. So it's quite possible it could have been throwing it. So I'm looking down that and I'm looking there, and it looks like we've got about 2 millimetres. Now the question is, how much of that can I take out using this? Right, not enough. So now we've now got to adjust it out. So what I'm going to do is we just adjust that until we get it closer and closer. Right. So I reckon that's about 1/2 mil. Next, move the derailleur to the position shown in the figure. Start. Right, so it changes gear for me automatically. So we're now on the big ring. Right. So now I need to be on the inner edge. It needs to be so what I tend to do with mine is I'll tend to go until it starts to catch, and then I'll back it off a couple of knocks. Bit more. Right, so we're about personally, I think that derailleur's too close to that, but next. So now we need to do it on the little ring, so it's going to drop it down. There you go. Start. And now we need to do the inner ring again. So we need to move it that way or that way. So we're going to move it that's quite a long way out still. Still a long way. So again, it needs to be 0.5, so 0 to 0.5 on this one, so it can be just catching it. We are touching now, so we'll just back it off a little bit. That's it. Complete. So let's see if that's made any difference. So remember, we've set it to the right size ring, which it wasn't set to, which is piss poor, and we've done the adjustments on this. So it's not gonna, I'm gonna have to come out of the trim, I think. But while we're here, we might as well do the back one as well. Adjustments. That's too far over. That's interesting. I think somebody's overdone this one. It's telling me it can't adjust, so I'm wanting to move it back that way. Happy if I did the right one. That's better. Right. Alright, let's change gear. So we just work through each of the gears. Check number 3, that's gone down. Right, now let's go back up again. So we're just using the phone app to change the gears. Just check that one out. Wasn't very good, that one. I think that's all right now. So we've adjusted it. It's ended up at 17 instead of 18. So I don't know why it's that far out. I suspect they didn't set the stops properly before they initiated it. When you use the factory software on the laptop, you've got a few more options. There we go, shut that thing up. So we've ended up adjusting that one to 10. So that was miles out, that one. Gear usage rate, let's have a look, see what she's been using it like. Right, she's hardly been using the top gear at all. Yeah, so she's hardly been using that one at all. She's been mainly riding in that one. Let's have a quick scan. Rear derailleur information, we've got that. Gear usage rate, I think that's about it we can do here. Updates, we've done all the updates. No firmware updates available because we need to recycle them and we haven't got the cable for it. Just one thing I do want to check, that on the rear S1 and S2, I'm not sure what it's entirely set up to do at the moment, or how he's set on mold. That's multi-shift, that's when you hold it down. So you can hold it down, it just rattles through the gears as quickly as possible. I just want to see what we've got it set to. We've got S1, which is the semi-synchronized. 2 and 2, that's good, we want that. So hopefully that's left her in semi. Change shift mode on the bike. Please see the user's manual for details on how to change shift mode. I don't know how to change shift mode on these. On mine, I have a button on the bottom of the handlebar that I press. So I'll just quickly have a look. Right, so I've got it. The little button there on the back of the derailleur, it is the same as the other one. You just double press it. T delivery. Right, let's show you where the button is. I'll show you what I'm doing, as if I can do it. Right, so the button is that button there. And hold on, let's switch that around. Make sure you're looking at the same thing I'm looking at. And you're focused on it. God, the focus is terrible. Come on, focus. What is up with the focus on this? Bear with me a second while I beat the living snot out of this. That works a bit better. Put a bigger range on. Right, so that's the button. Normally you press and hold that, or press it once to wake it up and it's gone green, and then you press it again and it goes into blue or something like that. But if you double press it, right, it's given 3 things. That's on S3, so that's on fully automatic. Press it, double press again. 1, so that's in manual. Double press again, we're in semi-automatic. Right, so in theory, now we should be in semi-automatic mode. So if I change the gears on the back, right, you should see it automatically as we go down jump up onto the front. Let me try and do this from this side. So if I let me get it somewhere in the middle. So I'm going down, 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 I'm riding. Right, I'm thinking about, right, probably need to go into the big ring now. So I'm going to go and press the button to go up onto the big ring. And did you notice it jumped down on the one at the back? If I do it again, there you go, it's dropped down 3. So that's working. So I think we're all right on this. I think we've cracked it. The only other thing I've got to do, I'm almost tempted to wash the bloody thing for her, which we might do. I'll do that as a time lapse at the end. Is this a waxed chain? No. Needs some bloody oil on it, Tracy, if it's not a waxed chain. It feels like it's waxed, but that doesn't mean to say that somebody's not been piling oil on it. So anyway, let's we've got to stick some more tyre sealant in. She got told that she needs a tool to take that out. She didn't realise that Giant give you a tool. It's included in the tyre lever. I know this because I got caught the other day out, and I needed to get the valve out to clean it. And I thought, do you know what? I don't keep it. For some strange reason, I had not thought to put a valve core extractor in, and then I looked on the back of the tyre levers that came free with the bike that just happened to be in my bag, and there's a tyre lever in there. So happy days. We popped the tyre lever out. We popped the valve out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop these out, these valves out, and then we're going to stick some more air back in it. I don't know whether I'd probably do this on the bike, to be honest. So we'll get them out, and we'll just stick half the bottle that she's got in there. So we'll do that as a non-verbal one. Right. So we're just going to remove this. I wouldn't normally do it on the bike, but I can't bother to take the wheel off. So when you're undoing this, make sure you're just not spilling the actual valve itself. You are just removing the core, because they do have a habit of getting stuck. And when you take it out, just give it a quick visual inspection as well. Make sure there's no crap stuck around there, which is what was wrong with mine the other day. I've already loaded this up with just over 25 mil of tyre, of the Giant tyre stuff, and it's already pissing all out all over the floor. That's because there was a blockage. God, we're making a right mess of this. That's it. So always make sure that that's well inserted in. Otherwise, if it's blocked at the bottom of there, because that's what this stuff does, it blocks. That's the whole point of it, is it blocks. That's it. We should be able to stick that in now. I made a very right mess on the floor there. It's normally up the walls and across the ceiling though. Again, when you screw them in, make sure they are firm in, but you don't start to screw them in too hard, because you will unwind that quite quickly. Let me go and get my cloth and give it a quick wipe down. I'm still here, I'm over here, I'm over here. Mop up what I've spilt on the floor before the missus sees it. Right, I've just got to repeat the same process on the front one. I'll leave the valve undone. Let's get this one out. Again, quick visual inspection, you can hear that's blocked. There's a little bit of crap in there, we'll just swap that out. Normally I would swap the valves out, but these valves actually look okay, so and they are the original ones, so let's not. As we did before, we're going to poke through. You can hear it's blocked in there, so we're just going to push through. can feel it against the tyre. So I'm just going to open the trapdoor. Great, I've blocked it up somehow. It's not as bad as the... that was a bit cleaner, wasn't it? It's because I didn't poke through on the other one. I wasn't expecting it to be so clogged, with it being a fairly new bike. Quick whiz that one in. Oops, I've got a bare hair. Don't want a bare hair. Just spin the tyres round. Same with that one. We'll stick some air in them, and then we'll give the bike a quick clean, and then we'll see what. Come on, zoom in. Right, so here's another good app for you. Download the SRAM Axis app, because in here is a great tool for working out your pressures. So we've got 700C. They are a 32mm tyre on front and 32mm tyre on rear. Done, so you don't need to remember all of these. Rim width, these are approximately the same as mine, so I think they're about a 23. Front tyre casing, it is standard tubeless straight side, so these aren't crotcheted or hooked, so these are hookless. I know that because they're the same as mine. Surface is, well, we're going to say it's winter. So done, and it tells us we need 3.15 bar in the front and 3.35 bar in the rear. So, and unfortunately, you can just have it in bars and that's it. Would be nice if you could, mass units, so we can have pounds per square inch, so we can have PSI. Oh, it's not remembered that. Done. Oh, mass unit. Rider weight, right, kilograms, it's not that. It's not what I thought it was. Rider weight, yeah, Tracy ain't. I would say, guess at 70. She's going to slap me when she sees me. Right, so we are front tyre width 32, done. Rear tyre width 32, we're going to reset it all again now. Standard, tubeless straight side, and it's going to be wet. And we want 3.15 bar and 3.35 bar on the rear. It's a bit annoying that you can't set whether you want PSI there, but hey ho, 3.15 bar, so we'll set that to 3.15 bar now. And it is worth checking as well with tubeless, because they are different. The amount of people I keep hearing talking who don't ride tubeless, who keep saying, oh, you need 90 odd PSI in there, 100 PSI in there. You don't, you need a lot less with tubeless, and if you run them too high, you'll actually damage the rim, the sidewall of the tyre, and then it'll start to leak out of the tyre. So it actually only wants about 50 PSI in it, this, to be honest. That's spot on, that feels good. That's it, spot on. So we'll stick slightly more in the rear, but I'm going to have to drop the bike down for that, so we'll do that in a bit. Right, I'm going to get the bike down, we'll give it a quick wipe over, and then I'll message Trace here, tell her she can come up. finish it there. It's not a perfect clean, it's just have a quick wipe of it just to get most of that residue off. Just give it a quick final look over. It looks good, still got the dork ring on, I see. I won't mind, but the giant ones are awful, they move around. Terrible, terrible, terrible. So what I do need to do is just see if she got another cable with it for doing the updates to the head units. If not, we'll have to see if we can get one, because we need to connect that in either to the batteries or into a splitter box that goes on the back of the here with, I suspect, the charge unit. Because what this does is that runs the cable up to there and the battery powers these two, but the shifters are on their own. They're a bit weird, those shifters. You can manually attach them and have a junction box up there, manually attach them through and run them off the power of here, I believe. And you can also run them as they are on wireless on the coin cells. I will tell her that the coin cell batteries are probably about half, so she needs to download that app, and I'll show her how to do that. And then she can set all that up. But I think everything's working nicely now. Move it nice up. Nice crisp shifting. Put the one. Put it on the big ring. That's it, drop it down. Yeah. And little ring. And it just starts, big ring, and it shoves it up there. Just to show you what it does if it was in full automatic mode. 2, 3. So if we take it up to we take it down to the bottom. Right, so we're in the hardest gear now, the fastest gear. So if I start working up through the gears, I'm only going to use the left-hand shifter now. Sorry, the right-hand shifter. So the back, if you watch the front, in a minute it will automatically change that one. Now if I had the Garmin unit on, it would beep to tell me. Look. It's F1. Bring it back down again. That's it. Sorry, I've upset it. Right. So let's see if that's also automatic now. Right, let's so if I come down now, it should change if I set it up right. Maybe I haven't set it up right. No, that should have changed. Maybe I should have took the top to start off with. Different on mine, right. Let's start from there. 2. 1, 2, 3. See if it goes now. No. I don't know what I've set it at. I'll have to go and check the software again. Yeah, they might both be set to semi. Yeah, they're both set to semi. After something it. Like a divot, I've got them both set to semi-synchronous. So if we do a quick double press, 2, so that's semi-synchronous, 1, 2, 3, this should be synchronous now. So we're in the big ring. If we start to go up, it should automatically drop down. There we go. So now we're on the easiest. So I'm just using the left shifter to go down, 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 down. Crank it up and knock that one back up 2 gears. Keeps going down. And you've, at this point, if you had your Garmin attached, it would be beeping at you. Back all the way back up now. Next one, I think. There we go. Right, put it back into semi-synchronous for her. Two, that's it, so it should be in semi-synchronous now. Just check it. Go down there, change gear. That's it. Yeah. Nice. Right. Move it back up. Right then. Give her a balance, send this one on its way. It's cleaned up a bit nice anyway, it's got all that crap off from down there. It's not got all of it out, but that's up to her to detail it. I don't clean bikes. Right then, so it's nice to get a bike back in the workshop again, and a bit of a fancy one. I do need to get mine done over the Christmas break. This video will probably be going out Boxing Day. I think that's the Friday 26th. So at some point over the next 2 weeks I do need to service the Propel, clean it down, might even go stick it somewhere and mothball it somewhere in the house out of the way. So it's not just in here gathering dust and getting covered in bare slobber. I also need to put some stuff on which I need to do today because I'm going out tomorrow. I need to put some heli tape on my Propel so that I can stick the mud guards on. But no, nice bike these. Female's version of the Defy. Nice. Right, see you later.